about the generation of now and of old? What is the major difference that you see between then and now?
I see today that we're moving toward people are they're just they'll accept anything. You know, they don't have standards. Uh, they'll go along with almost anything.
Yep.
But if you have, I think that though back when I was coming up, people actually had standards that they stood for something good. But today you don't see that. I think people they, they're wishy-washy.
Thank you for coming on, Onisha.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's start off with the name Onisha. It's a unique name. How'd you come up with that?
Well, I started writing that name, and don't really know how exactly I came up with it.
Mm-hmm.
I just started writing. That's the first name I ever wrote,
Mm-hmm.
and no one prompted me. I just started writing when I first started writing Onisha
As a child?
as a child. Yes. Mhm.
Interesting. And so you just went with it ever since.
I went with it ever since.
And that's
Uh,
and that's your legal name?
it
Yeah.
currently is my legal name.
Okay. So okay.
I just currently had it changed in the court system,
Yeah.
and I went to get my passport, and they wouldn't give me one because of that was the name of my birth certificate.
Okay.
So I changed it to a
What
legal name.
what was your name at birth?
It was Harold.
Harold.
Harold was my
That
first
sounds
name,
like an old
and
school
I
name.
never went by Harold.
You
I,
always went by
that,
Onisha?
I always went by Onisha.
That's interesting.
And Onisha mean let's see, what is it? It's the grace of God, of God.
Grace of God.
That's what Onisha means.
In what language does it mean that?
In Nigeria,
Nigerian.
Nigerian.
Lot of Nigerians
Yes.
names that I know of,
Yes.
they names have meaning
Yes.
typically when I
Right.
listen to the word about their name. Okay, Onisha, let's get on the grounds, the background. Onisha, tell me about your background as a child, your upbringing.
Oh, I was born in Arkansas,
Hmm.
and I was born into an agricultural community.
Okay.
It was a very close community, a place where everybody knew each other, uh, and was responsible for one another.
Mhm.
Uh, Very friendly community. I lived there, I stayed there until I was around about 13, 14. And at that time, my family moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay, so
Yes.
back on the times
Uh,
in Arkansas, and that time frame, did you learn anything about agriculture?
I learned, yes, we did. We had our own land.
Oh,
Of course, we grew our own crops, cotton, wheat, rice. Uh, so that was part of our provision, is growing crops.
so y'all sold in, then y'all kept some back for yourself.
Yes, we also did crop patches, vegetables and
Hmm.
fruits and things like that. Yes.
So what year was you born?
1956,
Did they have
the
the
baby
John?
boomer.
Did they have the John Deere equipment back then?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I've driven one.
Even
I've
back then,
driven John Deere.
was it? Reason why I asked that because I don't know if you know about how the John Deere stuff be now, where they
Yes,
need to get it booted by the equipment now, so people can't fix on their own stuff. Back
right.
then, was y'all able to fix on your
Oh
own
yes,
equipment?
oh yes. You had to. Money was tight, so
Yes.
you had to do a lot for yourself on your own. You had to learn to know how to save money. Yes.
So with those times, is there any lesson that you learned from doing agriculture at that time frame, and what also age where you were when you was doing that?
I probably started out working when I was like 5 years old.
That's common for country people.
Yes, when I was 5 years old, I started out work full day
Hmm.
at 5 years old, all the way up until 13, 14.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, so with the lessons, what'd you learn from that?
Uh, I learned that you have to really, you have to hustle.
Hmm.
You have to, you have to hustle because everything mattered. Every bit, every hour of the day mattered. That really determined whether you ate or not. So yeah, it was tough coming up.
Typically, what time did y'all start your day when y'all had to work?
Before, I say around dawn,
Mm.
around dawn. and
Sun up to sundown.
sun up, sundown.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
What was the typical meal in the household?
Uh, we ate good.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, she always cooked. She was the cook, and she usually stayed home, took care of the house. But we ate real good because we grew mostly everything that we had to eat. We grew everything, so it was pretty much self-sufficient in that regard.
Did y'all have cattle as well?
No, we didn't have cattle, but we did have hogs and chickens and vegetables, all sorts of vegetables, what they call crop patches.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
So we had plenty of food.
Compared to back then to now, can you see the difference in food?
It's almost as different as from night to day.
Yeah.
Yes, because back then you would just go out and get your food
Mm-hmm.
right from right from your own. You leave your house and go straight and get your food
Right.
right in the yard, and it was fresh, very
Mm-hmm.
fresh. But nowadays, matter of fact, I have this funny story to say. I was in a store just recently, and I was talking with the manager at the store,
Right.
and the manager shared with me that she was talking with some young kids that came in, and she was produce manager, and she said the young kids asked her. She was going in and out with the produce from the back from the back. She was going in, bring the produce out to put on the shelves. And the young kids asked her, did she grow the produce in the back?
Right.
Had no idea that the produce was trucked in.
Mm-hmm.
They thought she was actually going back and picking the produce from the field and bringing it out and put it on the shelves.
You would
They
think,
had no idea.
but no.
Right.
Most of the time, that stuff is coming off the truck
Yeah.
from anywhere, and most of the time, it's made to last for the travel that it needs to get to the destination. And then by the time you get it, it only lasts X amount of time.
Right.
And then you got to think, would natural stuff last as long? That's grew the way it would.
Right.
Would it last as long?
Right.
For example, it's not produce, but
Yeah.
you got some fast food that when you buy it, it might outlive you.
Right. Yeah, we never ate fast food.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what fast food was until I came to Tulsa, Oklahoma, when I was about 14.
And that was middle school or high school for you?
That was middle school.
Middle school.
Yes.
Okay, so you came to Tulsa,
So I was in the 8th grade.
eighth grade. What school did you go to?
Monroe Junior High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that was during the time when we had desegregation.
Did you like Jim
We
Crow?
was bused from our neighborhood to other neighborhoods,
Mm-hmm.
and to the to neighborhoods to try to balance things out.
Was that around Jim Crow?
No, that was right at the end of that was right at the end. That was in 1969.
Okay.
Yeah, so I apologize. Yeah, that's 69. That's right. Yes.
So,
So 64 was when the Civil Rights Bill was passed, desegregate schools. So that was in 69. Yes, it was bus,
okay.
mandatory busing.
So prior to that, you was in a school with black teachers and black students only. Prior to that,
Prior to that, in Arkansas, we had it was segregated, and it was also school was excellent school, had excellent teachers that cared and really did invest in the students. They would bring supplies, for instance. They always interacted with your parents to let them know what you was doing, whether you're doing good or not. It was a shared community, so it was much more proactive as opposed to when I came to Oklahoma. Oklahoma, it was not proactive at all.
I want to touch on that.
It was not.
What was the experience? I mean, what's the differences between what you just talked about prior to getting bused to different schools to getting forced to this school? How did you get treated, and how was your experiences in these schools?
When we got to Oklahoma, it was indifference.
Mm-hmm.
You was met with indifference, and if you didn't have a support system, you could get lost, you could get left behind. So that was very important. because you didn't have the community like I had when prior to coming to Oklahoma. The community was not there. So that was the downside to coming to Oklahoma. That was the turmoil of desegregation, forced desegregation,
Mm-hmm.
and of course there was a lot of resentment,
Mm-hmm.
and we was met with a lot of violence. Also, there was a lot of violence involved during that time
Right.
between the races. Uh, I can remember riding the bus home and had kids from high school. I was in junior high. We had the kids from high school was actually throw bricks at the bus, shoot at the bus. So that was a very
And this was in Tulsa.
that was a very trying time. Yes,
Wow.
yes.
And it was just, oh, this is how it is. There's nothing you can do about it.
No, no, no. That's not much. If where anything to do, you just have to just uh, get through it.
So if you can think of a percentage, how many black kids was in your school? So I'm no, I'm born and raised in Oklahoma, so I'm already guessing most of your class was white, and they.
Actually, it was. I would say I don't remember exactly what it
Mhm.
was, but it, what the percentage. I don't know that. I do. I can only remember that I was around mostly the black students.
Okay,
So I would say it was probably more black
so
than
they.
white because there was a lot of people doing the desegregation, doing desegregation. A lot of families moved out. Right,
Oh,
right,
so they just like I'm not gonna put it with, so they just go somewhere else.
right, right.
So they did the same thing with schools that they also sometimes do with housing.
Yes, same thing. And that was throughout the country. Yes.
That's I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
They
that
did
was
their
that was
schools too.
that was like I said, the most tumultuous time in America. It's the most trying time because it was forced. It was not something that people
Hmm.
volunteered to do. There was a lot of resistance. Uh, there was a lot of anxiety between both races. So it was forced upon us, and it was a difficult time.
How was life as a black teenager at these times outside of school, just living daily life?
I was more sheltered. My parents kept us. I had 9 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
I have 9 siblings. And matter of fact, I was the first son that was born in my family. I had 6 sisters prior to me.
Mm.
Yeah, and I was the first son. I'm the oldest son. I have three other siblings after me, 2 brothers and 1 sister. So yeah. What was your question again?
I was asking, how was it to be 14-year-old black man in America
14.
at that time?
That was probably the most challenging time in my life. At 14, that was the most challenging because I had left Arkansas. I was just in the process of dating.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I was in the process of dating, getting involved with sports, football, and I cried when we left. We left Arkansas because that was you 13, 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just and now you put in a whole new environment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like starting all over again.
How long did it take you to adapt to that new norm for you?
Oh my, took quite some time. I don't even, definitely not in middle school,
Mm-hmm.
in the 8th and 9th grade.
What were you into around that time? What were you doing for extracurricular activities? How were you as a student? How were you?
Oh, you had some very challenging questions. uh, it was less of a challenge when I got in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was a more of a calmer environment.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't faced so much with the situation that I experienced when I was in middle school
Mm-hmm.
when we first moved to Oklahoma. So, but it was that's when I really kind of got loose during
Mm-hmm.
that time. I got involved with drugs.
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of a loose environment.
Mhm.
So, and like I said, I didn't have that oversight that young people need
Mhm.
in order to prevent from getting involved with bad habits
Right.
like drugs. So parents were working hard. Uh, they're very hard working parents. So they didn't.
You didn't have a lot of supervision by your parents due to them working
No,
hard trying to make a
no,
living.
didn't have that kind of. You was pretty much on your own.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
You had
I made
free
some bad
time.
decisions during that time. Yeah.
Free time
Real
led to
bad
you to doing
decisions.
other
Yeah.
things. That's how you continue to live pretty much high school the whole time, the whole entire duration.
Pretty much.
After graduation, what'd you do then?
Service, went into the service, didn't know what I was doing, they had no clue. Things didn't get better. Uh, that was probably one of the worst decisions I made was going to the service.
Really?
Yes. They
Mm.
say they make a man out of you. That's not true.
Mm.
That's not true.
What branch of the military did you go
I was
into?
in the Army. I was in communications.
How long did they have you do boot camp?
That's an interesting topic also. I went through boot camp in Louisiana,
Hmm.
Fort Polk, Louisiana, about 2 months. Then I went to what they call advanced training.
Hmm.
That was another 2 months. Then I decided I wanted to be a drill sergeant.
Right.
Well, that didn't last long. Those were long hours, and so I decided I was not wanting to do that. And I left there and went from Fort Polk, Louisiana to Fort Lewis, Washington State.
Hmm.
And that's where I ended my career in the military.
How long was you in the military?
About 6 years.
Was it any wars brewing at that time you was in the military?
I missed Vietnam maybe about 1 year of the draft.
What the war was going on, how did it affect the life as you know it? Because Vietnam War, I don't remember necessarily how long it was, but I'm pretty sure it was a difference between before the war and during the war and after. Can you touch on all three of those?
Well, before the war, country was all for it. Then when soldiers started coming back in body bags in the large numbers, they've seen it on the news each and every day. And even back then even the news reporting was different. News reporters had more control over what they reported. They don't have that control anymore.
I agree.
So back then they were more honest, and so it was a lot of the reports that when they saw things was not going well, they would report on it, and that caused the general population to change their mind about it. And
Mhm.
that's when you get a lot of protests. And that was during the time like you had the hippie generation and
Like the Beatles.
the Beatles and all. A lot of people was burning their draft cards or going to Canada, but it was a lot of protests because it was just an unwinnable war. So uh, yeah, it, I remember coming back from when I got discharged from service, and uh, let's see what year was that, 78, 78. I remember getting discharged out of service, and because I was wearing my uniform, I actually got spat on. That's how much people hated that war.
Wow.
Got spat on, yeah.
That's
And
nasty.
yeah, because people was very angry about the war.
What? Why they spend on the soldiers though? Because they gotta follow
Well, because
commands.
we was like the one generation that didn't we lost the war.
Yeah.
So it was considered dishonorable. Dishonorable.
What are your views on that Vietnam War?
It was a war that was unnecessary,
Mhm.
and it was also a war that uh, it was tragic. I think more for the Vietnamese people. It was like it was no uh, with no caring at all in terms of how that war was how it was implemented.
Mhm.
It was like they didn't care about. There were so many so many atrocities, and even that was being reported. So they were seeing how things were going in the wrong direction, and
I
for
want to
Vietnam and for America.
I want to
We were there for what 20 years and didn't accomplish anything.
I want to include because I was watching this program based on the Vietnam War where it was I think it was a video or a photo where it shows some soldier and I guess it's like a Vietnam and he's actually shooting a dude in the head or something like that. I remember seeing that. Do you remember that photo I'm talking
I
about?
remember that photo.
Yeah, that was crazy to me, and I wasn't even born. And just to see that people just that careless and just in the middle of the street executing men like that, and the photo actually showing it when the life is leaving him, basically. Yeah, I see why people was against it.
There were a lot of cover up, but there was also they would go in villages and actually just murder people indiscriminately. They didn't care what age they were. They would because they felt like the enemy was amongst the people, was hiding amongst the people, and that was their way of American soldiers. That was their way of dealing with those situations, which was it was a crime.
War
It
crimes.
was a war crime. Mm-hmm.
I oftentimes when I have discussions with certain people, depends on their mindset. Some people here in America, they look at, oh, America is so great, America's so this, as if we haven't won a good amount of wars. Or they always think about how, oh, them people, they got bombs this and they got that. But if you're talking about in this day and age, the only people that drop nuclear bombs is America. I haven't known no one else to be dropping no nuclear bombs. America is, so who was a real bully?
Well, we're just that's just kind of the DNA of America. It's just wars. That's how America feel like it has to continue its dominance just through wars, and of course it's not been beneficial.
No.
It's not been beneficial at all. Matter of fact, it's hurt us more than it's helped us. So when you fight a war and you're not even there's no real threat, but yet you go and you attack a country, and they're not even threatening you in any way, shape, or form. Matter of fact, they want peace, but we have this attitude that we have to fight wars in order to maintain our dominance.
But yeah, you'll lie to your own people that didn't want the war, wasn't worried about a war, and say that they're communists or they're drug cartel or whatever law they want to put in the propaganda.
Right.
And people so quick to go with it as if the news media aren't bought by certain people to push a certain agenda, as if it's not history for America to be liars. But then when you say, oh, you a conspiracy theory or this and or you hate America, when it's facts that they're habitual liars. So if I think outside the box, I'm strange, or really is this that you're a puppet and you can't think outside the box and you're trapped. So it's kind of conversations like that because I remember I was in a barbershop and they was talking about the current war that's going on, and I'm listening and stuff, and they really have a dumb mentality to it. Just like, oh yeah, this and that, oh this and that. I'm like, I don't even know. I'm saying I'm like a historian, know a lot of history, but I know America has lost battles. They lost Vietnam. I can't think of other, but
Iraq.
They lost Iraq.
Afghanistan.
That's a lot of L's to be so great.
Right. And
They're losing this one
too.
too.
They're gonna lose this one also.
Like I feel bad for people getting sent, but if you couldn't win Iraq, you're not winning Iran. You're not.
No.
You're not. You already depleted in soldiers,
Right.
and you already don't have the will of men to want to fight because it's an illegal war.
It's an unnecessary war.
Yeah.
It's totally unnecessary, and that's what makes it such a crime, because it's so unnecessary. And right now, America, and I know a lot of people are not going to like what I'm about to say, but
Who cares?
America right now, Israel right now, is what's running this war. It's not America. Israel is running this war. And if you look at what many officials, like the ambassador from America to Israel, Mike Huckabee, if you listen to what he say, Uh, there's several senators, vice president. When you listen to what's coming out of the president's mouth, you realize that they consider this a holy war. And what their attitude is that, and Israel's attitude, Israel, it's mainly Israel's attitude is that all of the Middle East belong to Israel,
Mm-hmm.
all of it. So that has raised a lot of eyebrows amongst the countries, especially Iran, but the other countries also, because that's the attitude of Israel right now. That a large segment of Israel, not all of Israel, but it's a large segment of Israel actually believes that all that Middle East belongs to Israel, and they actually base that on scripture.
Of course they do.
Yes, and it's actually scriptural also, but that's what they believe.
So, with my understanding a little bit that I know about it, that the way how they do war, some people say it's different in America, but then I also know that America has did some disgusting stuff in war as well. But with you being in a war, have you ever heard the term mow the line?
What's that? Motor line?
Yeah, it's pretty much when they're going to try to flatten the whole whatever it is by bombing it to nothing. For example,
It's
what happened to Gaza?
Carpet bombing. Yes.
They mowed the line.
Yes.
So I heard that term before, and even when we was about to do this, I wanted to bring it up to because I knew he was in the military. So I was wondering, have you ever heard that terminology before? When I heard that, I already knew what it meant.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
sickening because
Well,
the grass is tall.
That's what's going on now.
You mow the line. I
That's what's
understood
going
it
on.
immediately.
It's basically to just get rid of the population.
Yeah.
That's what's happening in Gaza. That's what's happening now in Iran. It's just to get rid of the population. If we can't decapitate the regime, the leadership in the regime, which is it's not going to happen because think about it. Here in America, if let's say if someone assassinated the president, you always got a procession. You got, according to the Constitution, you have a procession of people who just, if one person gets assassinated, someone else steps in. That person gets assassinated, someone else steps in. Iran has the same government structure. So if you take out the Ayatollah,
Someone else will
it's
come.
always someone else. So that's
And then you'll make them a
it's
mortar.
structured pretty much same as America. So, but that's what the whole idea was. We're going to go ahead and decapitate, get rid of the leader. Well, you're always going to have somebody else take over.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. So now what you're alluding to right now is carpet bombing. So we can't get our results in that regard. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to just annihilate the population.
What you know, and I was saying a little bit that they start sending boots on the ground there. So with that, but also sent a video about how I think I don't know if it's the president or whatever office he held, they asked him, "We're ready." So what is people supposed to be prepared to battle with someone that's waiting for you to come over there and that's their territory and you're new to it? If you couldn't even go to Vietnam and win in the jungle, how are you going to win over here?
Well, if you listen to the president, he may say one thing one day, next day he's saying something else, and that's supposed to be the American policy, foreign policy. So it's not.
I was talking about the Iranian said that he's ready for the Americans to be over there. He's waiting.
Sure.
I was talking about him saying that. That's on like how is America supposed to go in that when they are willing to fight because you're coming to their
You're
territory.
not going to put boots on the ground because it would take probably well over 500,000 people. America don't have anywhere close to that. You have to institute a draft. Americans do not want to draft. So that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen in any significant way. So that's the only way you could actually. That's the only way you could fulfill whatever the mission that you want to do in terms of Iran. You would have to have at least 500,000.
But they would like to. Reason why I said it because I'm pretty sure you heard it where they
close
was
to 2 million.
they asking for their allies for help and they're not getting it. So I can make the idea that they are wanting the help to get them because they're asking for help. So if you're asking help for allies, then what did that say about where your current state is? Because why are you pulling for your own reserves?
Well, like I say, if you listen to what's being said from the leaders, They're saying one day that we won the war. The war's won. We won the war. But now, why would they come back and say, ask the allies, we need your help?
Mm-hmm. Which one is it?
Which one is it? Right.
Which one is it?
So they're not really being honest. So a lot of deception being fed to the American public and to the world. Mm-hmm. And people are beginning to see it, and they begin to realize that we can't not really count on these people because they're not consistent in their messaging.
I can speak for myself about politics in general, not just the war, but how it's a pattern that no matter what party it is, whether red or blue, that is always, I promise you what I'm going to do. This is what I'm standing for. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do this for you. I'm doing this. You need to vote for me. But they always get in the office and portray who they made promises to, no matter what color they are. And yet people still are faithful to a color in the party. Yeah. It's like they're institutionalized. Yeah. So I don't understand that at all, because I just got into all that type of stuff this year, got put on by Nautica and Nautica and David put me onto it. So I started learning a little bit more about it, because kind of should be aware of it in a way. So, and it's so, oh, I'm brand blue, or they can just ignore like, oh yeah, he did it, but I choose this one better. But all of them going to lie to you, because if, let's be honest, if the ones that's in a real power position, the ones that's behind that don't be seen, if they don't want you to win, you're not going to win. Right. And I be telling people that it's not what people think it is, like it's really voting. No, it's not. If you really going to be standing for the people doing right, you're either not going to win or you're going to be deceased. Even history shows that, but I guess people don't know history. You can bring it up, but then they ignore it when it's in the present.
That's a big problem. When you have a uninformed public, when you have people that are not knowledgeable of current events, and they're not being fed reliable information, that's very dangerous. That's what happened in Nazi Germany, for instance. In most cultures see that when they're going through their final phases, you see a lot of misinformation.
Propaganda.
Hitler
was that time he was amazing at
it. He actually had one of his top officers who was very good at it. Very good.
I seen a video where they use videos and imagery to compare, like, well, Jews are like this, like, and they use imagery like, well, they working in a farmland, all type of stuff, but us, we dress nice, and like they choose like bad and good. You know who else does that? America. Right. Because as a black person, typically you see in a movie, he's gay, cross-dresser, drug dealer, or pimp, or athlete. Is that all that a black man can offer in America? They love to see a black man run, dribble, play all these sports, and he my favorite player. You can talk of that, but let that black man date a white man's daughter. Now there's no more joy.
Put him in a position where he has authority.
Oh, they want him to die.
And he's willing to use that authority in the right way.
He think he all that.
And it really doesn't matter what color you are, but if you're in the position of authority and you're willing to die for whatever you believe in terms of what's right, and you don't abuse that authority, and that's what we see a lot. We see a lot of abuse of authority. That's where you see the culture itself begin to deteriorate.
Yes. And people so caught up in their phones and all this misinformation everywhere. It's like people forgetting the ability to think for themselves.
That's true.
And that's why I made this platform to actually try to offer something that someone can listen to and actually get something from it.
I appreciate it.
Other than entertainment and just, now if you find it entertaining, that's not what I'm shooting for. It's to inform so you can get something from it. Because people will sit there and talk about foolishness, or they'll talk about something that really is not going to add you, like how much LeBron James scored doesn't not have to do with my life at all. It's not affecting my life. It don't put no food in it's not affecting my pockets. But when people don't really care about the war stuff, like, okay, if you're not into that stuff, it's cool, but the war affects everyone here. Him shooting it in that goal, if he missed it, whatever, it doesn't affect you.
Right.
Your life will go on.
That's true.
So, but I kind of like that even
Leadership is so important.
leadership.
Leadership. I've experienced bad leadership and good leadership, and I personally can say how devastating bad leadership can be in your personal life, in your professional life.
Mm-hmm.
So, in this country right now, I don't see a lot of good leaders, but I do know one.
Yeah.
That's Pastor Geno Jennings.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
I agree.
he's a excellent leader.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that I'm able to experience knowing and being a part of something where we have good leadership.
Yep.
Because it affects you personally. Like I said, it does affect you personally.
Yes, it does.
So, it's easy to emulate people that you look up to. Sometimes, yeah, like you say, LeBron James, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
How is that? How is he really affecting sports leadership?
It's 9.
How is he? How is he actually producing positive leadership to young men?
Some might say, "Oh well, and they can be in the street and gangbanging and doing the other stuff, but they're just trying to make it to the league. Isn't that a positive thing?"
What about the teachers in the community? What about even the ministry, if they're true, if they're sincere about what they're doing? What about other professions?
Yep.
The medical profession.
A doctor is more important than a basketball player.
Right. So it's a lot of, like I say, it's very difficult to find good leadership, solid leadership today. It's very.
But the strange thing about this country is what's not important is important, and what's important isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So a person that can shoot a basketball gets hundreds of millions of dollars and get glorified in all this glory. But someone that literally can go inside your brain and take a tumor out with the finest precision, no one cares. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Welcome to America.
So we that's where we're at. And that's the crisis we have in America. So that's the deterioration that we see. Not saying that's everybody, but that's a good segment of our population. That's what they're focused on. Things that really doesn't really mean much in terms of providing value to one's life. And that's I grew up like that, so I know that it's important the people you're around, people that you have in your life. It's so important. And like I said, I'm thankful now in being in the truth that I'm around people that I know are honest. I'm not saying everybody in the truth that way, but I do know the people that I know are very honest, very sincere people about doing what's right with their life and being a good example for others, striving to do, trying to make the first resurrection. And that's, to me, that's been very valuable. Just being around just the right people.
Also, I want to touch on, like how we touched on leadership. So, in your age group, did you see the rise of Malcolm X, or was he before you? I don't know the time frames of his life. Was he after you or before you?
I was young, so I really didn't. Like I said, I was shielded from a lot of the politics during that time. I was very young.
By the time you was grown, was he dead already?
Malcolm, I think it was, I can't remember the year. I believe it was 65, I believe, when Malcolm passed. Got assassinated.
So how old were you then?
I think, yeah, because Kennedy was 63. Malcolm, I think, was 65. Martin Luther King was 68. Yeah. So at, let's see, 63, 65. 65, I was 9 years old.
Okay, so
I was kind of young.
Okay.
So I don't remember. I really wasn't aware of what was going on as far as Malcolm's life or Martin's life. I do remember when Kennedy got assassinated. I was 63, so I was about what 7? No, I was 8. Sorry, 56. I was born in 56, so I was about 7 years old when Kennedy got assassinated. Yeah.
I know for a while, Kennedy. A lot of people probably think Kennedy was probably one of the best presidents that America had, but then he got assassinated too.
Well, all of them have their faults, like most people, but
Yeah.
I think Kennedy wanted to do what was right. I think that's what cost him his life. I think he was upset about the lies that was told to him about Vietnam,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a lot of warmongers within the military leadership,
Mm-hmm.
and they just fed him a bunch of lies, and he found out about it, and he was angry.
Mm-hmm.
He was really thinking about just dismantling the military. He was so angry. So I don't know if that cost him his life. There was a lot of other things that he was involved in that was not good.
Yeah.
So
I already know what you're talking about.
but yeah, so he was. But during that time, that's when you really saw some real men, because you had like Medgar Evers and, like I say, Malcolm, Martin. These were people that really stood up against wrong, the ills of society, and they were willing to give their lives. We don't have that today. We don't have that kind of leadership today. No one is willing to give their life like they were back then. Martin actually spoke against the Vietnam War. He spoke against the president, the Johnson, the same one who signed the Civil Rights Bill. And so, that caused a big rift. So, but we had leaders back then that were really willing to give their life. You don't have that today.
We're gonna do a turn in the conversation. So we're gonna go back to, okay, you're out of the military now. Where do you start going and doing life then?
Oh, I went into I would say radiographer, industrial radiographer. I
Mm-hmm.
did that for a few years, and then I didn't like it because I was getting a lot of radiation exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, we didn't have a lot of protection.
Did they just let you do that, or you learned that in the military?
I learned that after I got the military.
Okay.
Right. So I did that maybe a couple of years, and then I went from that to being a mechanic,
Mechanic.
aviation mechanic.
Okay. Oh, you said aviation?
Yeah.
Oh, that's planes, right?
Right.
Okay. And that's what led you to where you're working at currently?
That's currently where I work.
Oh, okay. I see the puzzle. Okay. So,
I also worked in mental health.
mental health.
Yes, between the two, between being a radiographer and a mechanic, I worked in mental health for
Was it a specific
close to
thing
a
you did with
decade.
mental health?
Close to a decade.
Is a specific thing you worked in mental health?
Oh, I did everything. But I worked with adolescents, adults. I did homelessness, drug addiction. I worked with juvenile delinquency,
Mm-hmm.
eating disorder, pretty much anything that had to do with mental health.
Hey, so you went to school for that?
No,
Oh,
that was like on the job training.
wow.
Yeah, I just walked in one day and they hired me. They needed people. They needed people so bad.
They didn't have any.
They just hired me right off the spot.
They didn't have any qualifications you needed to fulfill,
They needed people.
and you just.
It was kind of it was a dangerous job because you had to deal with a lot of violent clients, so it was dangerous, but
So
it was challenging. And that's what I liked about it, because it was challenging, and you never knew from day to day what the experience was going to be. And I guess I like that.
So
Yeah.
a day in working in mental health, what was your day like when you woke up and went to work? How was your day? Like, do you come in, you clock into a building, and you sit down and talk with them? Because I don't know. I'm trying to think. Or was you like a counselor, a therapist, or was you more
Counselor.
like a caseworker?
I work with a counselor.
So you're a counselor?
Right.
Okay, so they came in and talked to you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm fairly new to, like, I heard the mental health stuff, but in my generation, I'm not gonna lie,
Mm-hmm.
I learned to try to be understanding, because my background in Black culture, I'm pretty sure, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
from your background, you didn't hear a lot part about depression.
No.
Yeah,
no,
because
no.
so me,
No.
all this, I'm battling depression and all the other stuff. My background, I'm gonna keep it all the way raw in here.
Yes.
In the hood, if I'm being honest, people are like, let's be 100. In the hood, black people say that's some white stuff. I'm just gonna be 100. That's what they were saying. It wasn't like they talking about, I don't want to do this anymore stuff. I wasn't hearing no black people say that. So and if you heard it, they was literally say that's some white people stuff. I'm not saying I agree with that, folks, but I'm just being 100. They was like that's that white people stuff. That they the one that say that. They be telling mom like, Mom, I'm gonna kill myself. Like no, like we wasn't doing that. We wasn't doing it. We were seeing stuff. We were seeing people get shot. We were seeing all that, but it wasn't talked about like your emotion. You probably was dealing with it, but you couldn't identify it because nobody addressed it. So it was like always elephant in the room that nobody touches. You just put it in the corner. Something traumatic happened. You just
That's good.
just leave it back there. Even though you just seen John get shot. They like you straight. And when they say you straight, they're not talking about mentally. They mean your body. Did you get shot too? You straight? All right, let's go. That's it. That's the talk.
No, we didn't have that kind of support system when I was coming up. No, we didn't have that.
So with that, since you've been in mental health,
People didn't understand. They didn't have that kind of depth of understanding in terms of emotional situations, problems. They had no understanding of that. So it was hard to deal with something that and a lot of it's pride, that what you don't know, you don't want to talk about. So, but if you had depression, I never saw it coming up. I never saw it in my people that I knew, as far as family or people that I was. Only time I really dealt with it when I was actually working in that profession.
And do you think it was more of a uprising in the terminology or people being diagnosed with it more in my generation from like the 2000s?
I believe so. I believe that it's like in the industry. You want to promote it, want to see it grow. Unfortunately, but I'm not saying it's not. It has its place.
Right.
But how it's applied is a whole nother thing.
With me, if I keep hearing something over and over again, like repeatedly,
Right.
It starts to water down the significance of it.
It does.
So in this generation, especially my age group, people are always self-diagnosing themselves. Oh, I got ADHD, or oh, I'm this, or I'm that, and they never went to the doctor to get diagnosed with nothing. So now everybody that's so clinically aware and aware of everything, it's like, are you really that, or are you just saying that? So it just eliminates if someone really is, or maybe think like, are you really or are you not? So I do believe depression is real now, but back then when I was ignorant, I didn't want to hear none of it, if I'm being honest. So what do you think the depression is coming from, and why is it coming so rapidly? What do you think some of the foundations or what the root of it is?
Oh wow, that's a loaded question. I think we tend to be more like have a victim mentality, and I've been pretty much pressured to even sometimes people come to me and say, "You're a victim," and to me, I never see myself that way. But I'm not. I can't speak for other people, but I've never seen myself as a victim. I don't see myself as a victim. And but if someone does, maybe that's what they're dealing with, and you have to. If a person have their feelings, I would rather validate if that's what they feel, and that's their feelings. So you respect that, regardless of what you think.
Right.
But for me, it's not. I never see myself as a victim. I'm not going to be a victim for anybody. Period. I take full responsibility for who I am, for what I do, for what happens in my life, whether it's good or bad. I don't relegate that to anybody else. So that's me. I can't speak for anybody else, but that's just who I am. But I do think that in our society we tend to be feel that we're victims, and in some sense it's true, because we've been manipulated, and it's a lot of manipulation. Yeah. So yeah. So I think that a lot of the responsibility has been relegated to someone else. a lot of the responsibility in a person's life, they're relegated to someone else instead of just taking that responsibility for themselves.
When me to on that subject,
Mm-hmm.
I feel some cases life is hard, so it can make someone be depressed because
Mm-hmm.
life be life, and is the terminology people say life can get real.
Mm-hmm.
You got some cases is what you're condoning yourself in and what you're in is causing that. And if you change your atmosphere, you'll pull yourself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then some, another aspect is spirits in it. It's spirits. Now some stuff you can't the counselor can't help you with that. You
That's
can go
true.
all you want, you can pop pills, but you
That's
can't
so
dope
true.
no spirit. So with that, it's like so many with that. It just I don't want to tolerate us the one that wants to call something that, but really they just weak minded. They're just weak minded and falling apart over minute things.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, depending like what is like if it's some serious whatever, because what's serious to me and what's serious to another, I'm not
Right,
going to
right.
belittle what yours is.
Exactly.
You gotta that's your struggle. But we still gotta brutal be honest that you shouldn't be falling apart like bread over stuff that is of no significance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's the stuff
But
like
you
that.
mentioned spirits. That's interesting because I remember when I was a young child. I remember we had my parents threw a birthday party,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow or another this little Ouija board showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's to me it's considered a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That was I don't know how they got in there, but I know Ouija boards are not something
No, that's not the devil.
that you should even tamper with at all. Yeah,
No.
so that shows you how things could just, especially when you're young,
Mm-hmm.
how we have to really be careful what's happening with our children.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know how something like that may seem innocent, but you don't even realize how they may affect you for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah, spirit. That stuff. No,
right,
the Ouija boards and
right.
all that other stuff, and playing all the demonic games. Those spirits will visit you, and
But
they will hold on to you.
I do believe that in mental health that there are people that have spiritual issues. There are spiritual issues.
Yeah.
Some of it is organic. Most of it is organic. It does require being on medication and also counseling in order to stabilize an individual. Yeah. So yeah, we live in a stressful. It's a lot of stress. We live in a lot of stress.
I also think social media has a part to play with it if you have social media,
Mm-hmm.
because if you can get caught into the comparison game,
Mm-hmm.
and if you comparing all the time, you'll lose sight of yourself because you're always
Definitely, definitely,
comparing,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll get stripped to the drawer. Well, I don't got this, or I
Mm-hmm.
should be here, and compare
Mm-hmm.
yourself to someone else's life,
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
they look like they're living a certain way or they are some way, but they're really not. They probably could be
Mm-hmm.
suffering just like you, but they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, or they're faking a funk as well as you are.
Right.
Everybody faking, don't nobody want to be real, and when you're real, they want to, all the fakies want to laugh at you like, oh, why you like that, blah 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 blah. But they really admire you within. They wish they could do that,
Exactly.
but they can't do it
Exactly.
because they used to being fake.
Mm-hmm.
They used to living to please others and
Mm-hmm.
doing what's trendy and
Mm-hmm.
doing what else think is fun and talking like everybody else and not wanting to be themselves.
That's so true.
And I can't stress that enough about how it's important to be unique to yourself. Everybody not going to agree with it or
Right.
like it or misjudge you, but you'll be more accepting and kind to yourself, looking yourself in the mirror, knowing that I may not be perfect, but I'm being me. Other
It
than
takes a lot of courage.
it
It
does.
takes a lot of courage to be you.
Yes, it does.
And God made us unique. He didn't make two people to be the same. So somehow or another, like you say, we want to look at others and try to imitate what we see with other people. That's okay if it's a good thing. Sometimes it
can
can
learn
be,
from
it can
someone
be
else.
negative, right?
Mhm.
So I don't mind imitating good. I mean, if it's good, if it's going to take me where I need to go as a human being in terms of development.
Mhm.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Uh, but as far as looking at someone and comparing myself with someone and it's not positive, that's a waste of energy.
With your age and what you've seen in life, what are some of the important lessons that you could give to young generations like my age or younger?
Oh, I would say just be yourself, and it, just be yourself. Have courage to be yourself. You know, don't try to be something that you're not. Be authentic. Be sincere in what you do. Uh, do not just we all made special. So you don't have to look at yourself as though you're less than anybody else. Everyone's special in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to just compare yourself to other people. That's a bad thing to do. Keep God first in everything you do. And if you don't have God, then it's fine. Just keep God first. I think that's probably the most important thing. And get good teaching in terms of your spiritual life, or even in.
About the generation of now and of old. What is the major difference that you see between then and now?
I see today that we're moving toward people are they'll accept anything. You know, they don't have standards. Uh, they'll go along with almost anything nowadays.
Yep.
But if you have, I think that though back when I was coming up, people actually had standards that they stood for something good. But today you don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
I think people they're wishy-washy,
Yep. Unstable.
unstable, right? So whatever, the slightest little thing that go wrong can just
Dismantle.
unravel them, right? Right, exactly, because they're not established, they're not stable, and that's what I think. Thank God for my life that God's put in me the ability to be stable, where no matter what happened, I'm going to be the same each and every day. I'm going to be the same person, no matter whether it's good or bad, and I thank God for that.
So what I'm getting from the major difference is you believe this generation is more feeble minded than the generation old.
Yes, that they're not as. Uh,
Which I agree with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree with you.
Definitely. I think the culture has gotten worse, gotten weaker, it's gotten worse. It's more materialistic.
Mm-hmm.
Think more in terms of materialism, which is sad. Uh, People value themselves based upon what they have, and not what's within. Because the measure of a man is not what he has, or a woman is what she has. The measure of a man or a woman is what is within them.
Yeah.
Right, and that's something I think is we don't value that as much.
That's, that was good.
Yeah.
I was also about to touch on with basically what you see now in our generation.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think are more mentally stable, the men or the women, or stable in general?
Well, that's an easy question to answer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that stability.
And neither.
I mean, except from my own personal experience, since I accepted holiness as my faith uh, within the last since October 23 when I got baptized.
Mm-hmm.
The people that I've met in holiness, I'm not saying everybody because we all come in with problems and everything, but I've met a lot of good people in holiness that are more stable than any time that I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And I've built better relationships with people, honest relationships, people that I can trust, people that I can trust with my life, people that I truly trust, and that I want to invest in those relationships and see those relationships flourish. I've never had that type of relationship with people, and the stability of people, and the trust the trust, which is to me the most important thing.
Yeah.
So you talking about stability in people between now and then? I don't see it in general. Like I say, I only see it since I've been in holiness.
Right.
And there has been some people outside of holiness that show some, but their lifestyle is not the same. Okay, so when you look at the whole package, I would have to say the ones that I know at holiness are more stable.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Cause I asked that because
the more that are striving in the way of holiness.
I asked that because a conversation was had and a brother asked a sister, pretty much does she think that she's more stronger? I don't know the exact word used, but stronger mentally than the men these days. And the sister said, yes.
Say what's that?
A brother asked a sister, I mean a male asked a female, do she believes that she is stronger than the men these days?
Oh.
And she said yes. And I agree because a lot of dudes like are shallow in a generation, don't have self-worth, don't have respect, don't have dignity, don't have nothing they stand for, ready to go for anything, handpecks, jelly back, weak in the knees. I can go on and on. And then you got women, for instance, when stuff is going on in the world now, we have women that's standing up against injustice, women that's willing to lay their line down, women that's willing to outspeak. And you got men tucking their tail like, well, I don't want to say nothing, or we still ain't cover all the bases and all this other stuff. Like, what are you tucking your tail for?
I have to agree with you on that. I do think that women are. I have to agree. Yeah, I believe women are more stable because I think women hold in our society today. Women hold probably more responsibility also. Because you gotta look at it's not, in a lot of cases, it's not a two-parent home, for instance. But women tend to mature a lot quicker than men.
It's like men lost their will to be a man. Like they just lost it to where, I know I don't want to tie it to war, but men actually had stuff to lose and actually had a sense of duty to do something, whether to their community, for their family, or something, because you got to care about the household first before you can help the community. But these men are helping with their household, then they can go to the next step. But men can't even do the end part because the mom in there is doing it. If he has a wife, she's over that household. So he's already like this. So he's in the house like this. So what are you gonna do when he go outside? He gonna be like this outside too. And the women that he interacting out there, they're at the top of their household too. And when I say at the top of the household, for those that are watching, what I mean is that the woman takes over the role of head of the household. And I don't mean that just in a financial standpoint. I mean that as a leadership standpoint. When I believe, I'm traditionalist, that a man is the leader of the household. But in these times, roles have flipped. So a man has been, I think the word I'm looking for is emasculated. And then, emasculate. And then you got the woman is masculine now. So you switching roles. So he took on the female role and she took on the male role, but he also saying he wanted to be respected as a man, but don't want to take the responsibility of it.
That's society promotes that.
Yeah.
It promotes that. It elevates, tell women that if you want to be part of, you want to be part of something, you have to be different. You have to be like a man. Because in most places you see where men dominate.
So they feel like they have
women
to
feel like they have to take on the role of,
because they won't get their respect unless they act like a man.
They act like a man, yeah.
But then it's crazy if a man don't act like a woman. He's not understanding, and he's toxic masculinity.
He's toxic.
So you get pushed over. You don't get respected if a woman don't act like a man. You're not understanding now with the times because you're talking about all these roles that a man should have. That's toxic masculinity. Like, what are we doing? How this stuff just got so flipped. It's just so weird. Like, dude, men can't be men no more. And then people are so entitled these days. Like, I go on and on. And it's so irritating. I really sometimes just feel like I'm
a lot of confusion in that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a woman being a woman, a man being a man.
Nothing
wrong with that. There's nothing to take anything away from either one. So it complements one another. If you do it the way the right way, you complement one another.
Mm-hmm.
But our society, like I say, the things, the roles have been so abused and misused in a way that now that it's confusing. It's caused a lot of confusion in that
Mm-hmm.
society, and people just they don't know what they don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah, it also messed up the society of the household of a man
Mm-hmm.
marrying a woman dynamic. If y'all don't even know what role to play, or y'all
Mm-hmm.
don't even have your internal being right,
Mm-hmm.
how you gonna come together is more likely to be in a relationship of codependency,
That's true.
other than two ended people coming together to live a life together. Now I'm being with you so you can make me whole. Well, you started already wrong because it's not going to happen.
But now, a man do have to be a man. Now,
Yeah.
if you want the society to be what it's supposed to be, men have to stand up and be what they're supposed to be.
Exactly.
They have to be taking responsibility.
You be what you're supposed to be.
Right.
She'll be what she's supposed to be.
If a man was to stand up and take the responsibility, then it wouldn't be a problem for women.
Yep. Cause I was talking with someone.
But that's not the reality.
No, it's rare. It's like
That's why we have problems we have today.
it's very rare. Cause I can even know if I ask women know when they're in the presence
Mm-hmm.
of a real man that stand for something, even if she do have some masculinity to her. It's a difference, and they're able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Women can tell who's soft, who phony, who fake, and who's trying to act like something they're not. They can see through that.
Yes,
Whether they tell it to you or not, they're able to tell it.
Mm-hmm.
So, dudes, like it's not about the muscles, ain't about the cars, it's not about I got this or that. Money don't unlame a lame. You have money and still be lame. You still weird. You still don't got respect. You gotta buy to get your love and get your respect and stuff. You buying that. You buying it. It's not authentic.
It goes back to what I was saying. It's what's in you
Mm-hmm.
that make you a man
Yep.
or make you a woman.
Got to be in you, not on you.
It's not what you wear, and it's not what you live in, and what you strive.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with whether you're a man or a woman. Even your title, your profession, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make you. It's what's in you, the character your character.
Right.
That's what makes you a man or makes you a woman.
Yep. You can't just limit it to I'm a man
It's not.
by anatomy.
No,
That's not enough.
No, that's not enough. It has to be character. It has to be that you have the character, and we're made in the image and likeness of God.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to have the likeness of God.
Mm-hmm.
We have the image. We also have to have the likeness. We have to have the
And we know we're
the
not saying
intelligence
that.
of God, and the intelligence of God.
Yeah, we're not saying like that these days.
Mhm.
So, in your lifestyle, your life living,
Mhm.
how many young men have you came across that actually seem to have an equipped mind of being a mature young man to be respected?
You're talking about the whole package.
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't seen much of that. I mean, when you talking about the whole package, we're talking about spiritually, financially, socially, mentally,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're talking about the whole package. So there again, it goes back to your teaching. Where are you getting your teaching? Is your teaching, is it valid? Is it uh, is it is it uh, is it relevant? Is the teaching relevant? So if you're not getting good teaching, then obviously you got to have the whole package. That's the thing you got to have. So I don't know any place you can get that as far as society is concerned. Because when you look at general society, it's not there. You don't see the whole package. You see parts and pieces, but I just have to only say the only person in my I've been around for a while, okay, and I'll be next month. I'll be 70 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So in my 70 years, people have been around a little longer than me, but in my 70 years, I would say being in the way of holiness and being under Apostle Geno Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
That teaching, and that's the only teaching that I've ever experienced in my lifetime, has made me where I can get the whole package.
Right.
If you acknowledge the teaching itself, if If you understand the teaching itself and you acknowledge it, that's where I've received the whole package. Prior to this, I wasn't getting the whole package. I was getting bits and pieces of it, but I wasn't getting the whole package. So I'm thankful for the teaching, the teaching that we're getting. It's so important that you get the right teaching. If you can't get it at home, which I think our parents, they do the best that they can with what they know. But I think I heard you on one of your podcasts say that what you know sometimes is not your best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just not, it's not your best.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I think that you have to have, this is the best. We're getting the best right now. We're getting the whole package. And I'm thankful for that because for the first time in my life, I'm experiencing something that I've been looking for all my life. And I'm thankful for it. Unfortunately, I didn't get it earlier, but now I got it.
At least you got it.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a good stopping point. That's a good one.